This is One on One. Sina Kahan, who is in fact the co-founder and chief consultant at a place called VACE,
Indeed.
which stands for?
Voice and AI. Trying to put the AI in voice.
Look at you just say AI without even saying artificial intelligence. Break it down, by the way.
We see that voice currently it's very robotic. It doesn't have much emotion, doesn't have much personability. So we're trying to add the artificial intelligence to give it a little bit more empathy than we're currently seeing on the market.
Sina, do us a favor. Break down the term artificial intelligence in layperson's language.
Artificial intelligence is essentially a computerized brain. So if you think of a human brain, all the certain neurons, the way that they work, the way that they get you to either think logically or think emotionally, trying to mimic that through a computer so that we're able to have the same interactions that we're having in person, but with a computer. There's many facets of it, machine learning, et cetera, but it's essentially trying to take the best bits of the brain and mimic that within a
How'd you get into
setting.
this?
I started in biotechnology, actually.
Biotechnology?
I still work within biotechnology, so this is all completely new to me relative to how long I've been in biotech. So I did biomedical sciences. Looking at the product development process in biotech, we started to think what would be useful in an operating room to make the surgeon and the patient life a little bit easier. So we started looking at voice. The sterile setting of an operating room is ideal for voice technology.
Is it?
Because you can't touch. So if you're a surgeon, you're sterile, there's only certain things you can touch. So if you want to try and grab some notes from your nurse, you're able to actually voice activate that interaction. Then voice became commercialized through Amazon Alexa and Google Home. Started my MBA, and we realized, why don't we get a group of MBA students together, meet up with brands.
Is this over in England?
Indeed, yeah, in London. The MBA team is varied from Canada to California to Iran to Israel. And we're trying to help brands develop their voice strategy. And we've been doing it for about 7 months now, and it's been good. It's been very good.
Why'd you come here to the Voice Summit?
America seems to be a step ahead of technology whenever there's a new tech
Is that
out.
right?
Indeed.
We are.
Indeed.
We're
always,
winning
always,
this.
Always.
Well, is it a competition?
No,
or is it
we're
a
all part of the
collaboration?
same family. It's an alliance.
Does the
an
family
alliance.
have a name?
The
Is it the
Voice
Voice
family.
family?
The Voice family.
Yeah, but see, you said something in preparation for this. Our producers, who always do a great job, said that the way you described VACE is why do you use the first date theory? What does that mean, the first date?
So when we're looking at, the first date communications is based upon, if you think of when you go on a date, okay, there are certain criteria that you want to see.
My wife is just not a fan of that. But assuming at a different point in my life,
Historically, in the past, there were certain criteria that you'd want to see from that partner to get that second date.
Play this out for me.
Okay, I'm sitting next to you, we're on a date, okay?
Yes.
I don't want a lack of personality, I don't want awkward
But you feel
silences.
the chemistry already.
But so far it's been good, but I don't know if we're there yet.
It's early. Okay, go ahead.
I don't want awkward silences, I want a little bit of personality.
Right.
If you make a bad joke, I want you to get out of that awkward situation in the right way. Right now, the voice applications on Amazon Alexa or Google Home don't really have that imbued within it. So there may still be awkward silences. The conversation doesn't flow like a first date's conversation should. So people don't use the application again. Only 3% of voice applications are used within a year again. So that's a really bad retention rate. So we're trying to see, okay, what's going wrong in that first interaction that's not getting the brand the second date with the user. So we're trying to mimic first date communication in real life and taking those same principles and putting them in applications.
Can you do that?
You're limited. We're limited because of where technology is currently. The emotion, the sensing, the emotional.
Sorry for interrupting. What about the eye contact? What about the chemistry? You really play this first date analogy out.
Yeah.
The stuff that isn't purely artificial intelligence.
So with artificial intelligence, with all intelligences, you've got IQ and you've got EQ.
Yes.
IQ is the intelligence quotient, EQ is the emotional intelligence.
Yes, Dr. Daniel Goleman coined that phrase.
Indeed. Right now, voice is very much up to date with IQ, but not the EQ. So the eyes, we don't have that currently. We won't be able to mimic that same feeling that you get when you look in someone's eyes. But conversation is still powerful.
Sure is.
And within that conversation space, if you like, there's a lot of things we can pick up from how we communicate in real life and mimic that into a voice application. One of the things we're pushing on is empathy.
Talk to me.
Historically, when developers were developing technology, their criteria were accuracy, reliability, speed. Now we're suddenly talking about technology that's empathetic, that we trust, that we can build relationships with. So voice sits at a very good space because it's able to meet the old criteria as well as the new criteria by designing conversations or providing conversations that are empathetic. So there's so many implications, from health to finance to retail to luxury.
So it's interesting. If I were to ask you a traditional question about who and what is the market, you just made it sound like who's not the market. Everyone's the market.
Everyone. Voice is very much an interface for our communication with technology. Technology is used in every industry you can imagine. So it's going to be an interface within all of those industries. It's not going to take over the other interfaces, so touch, keyboards, any kind of buttons. Those will still have their place. It reminds me of the microwave.
Of a microwave.
It reminds me of the microwave. When the microwave first came out, everyone thought, that's it. We don't need ovens. We don't need cooking stoves. It's done. Microwave will cook everything for us. But actually, it's managed to find its space in the kitchen. It hasn't dominated. And it's not supposed to. It wasn't intended to. Voice is the same thing. It's part of a multimodality experience. It's going to be another touch point amongst other touch points.
So in my car,
Yeah,
voice clearly has a place.
absolutely.
But right now, I still have a place in terms of my hands on the wheel and a whole bunch of other things I'm doing and other things going on. But voice has a place.
Yes.
It's not going to take over the car.
Indeed, it's not. And that's why it's key that whenever developers are looking at designing voice applications, they need to see, when you're in your car, what is the journey or the experience? What are the things you do in the car, whether it's turning on the AC, turning on the engine, and for which of those steps does voice provide the least friction? For some steps.
Least friction.
So whatever we do in life, there's levels of friction.
We don't want a lot of friction on our first date either.
You don't. So you want a right amount of friction. You don't want it to be too easy either. You want there to be some hoops to cross over. And right now, if you're trying to, for example, book a flight on your phone, you have to unlock your phone, you have to go to the app, you have to search for the flight.
Some buttons.
There's like 20 steps of friction,
Yep.
some button. Whereas with voice, whether you're in the car or at home or on your mobile phone, you cut through all of those levels of friction and get straight to the point. 1 or 2 levels instead of 20. That's the key. Finding those spots in the consumer journey is the key for making voice a really frictionless experience.
You love what you do.
I love it.
Tell everyone again, it's VACE, which stands for?
Voice and AI, so putting the artificial intelligence in voice technology.
Stina, thank you
Thank
for
you.
joining us.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for coming to Newark. Thank you for coming to NJIT. And
Thank you for
wish you all the
welcoming us.
best over in London.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this special edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato at NJIT has been provided by RWJ Barnabas Health, NJIT, TD Bank, Verizon, ADP, the Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey, and by Adler Aphasia Center. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.